This past Saturday night, live on HBO from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada, Timothy Bradley fought Manny Pacquiao for a second time. The first time, Tim Bradley got the decision. Although it was a controversial one in boxing, a win is a win and hardly ever overturned. This past Saturday night, Manny Pacquiao fought for the first time in 2014 and took Tim Bradley the distance. The fight was completely different than last time. The scorecards were actually right. The correct man won. Tim Bradley, for some reason, decided not to fight a smart, intelligent fight like he fought against Juan Manuel Marquez, but instead decided and chose to brawl against Manny Pacquiao. What else did he do wrong? To help break down and analyze this fight are Ruben Diaz of WarBoxing.com and Eliud Vasquez Torres of BoxingPulse.net. Fellas, thank you very much for giving me this audio, for giving me your time. Let's go straight to it. First, you, Eliud. Eliud, your prediction was right again. What did Tim Bradley do or not do to cause him to lose this fight?
The fight went exactly how I thought it was going to go down. Pacquiao overwhelming Bradley with his speed, his combination punching, him punching from different angles, and pretty much outclassing Bradley. Just like we all saw in the first fight, the only difference is that the judges got it right this time. Bradley looked like he was tired in the second half of the fight, and that maybe had to do with him trying to load up on his punches in the first few rounds to try and take Pacquiao out. But Pacquiao didn't get overly aggressive. He committed to just going in and out, going inside, doing his combination punching, his left hand, and just staying away from Bradley. And Bradley just could not adjust to the style that Pacquiao was administrating.
Eliud, is this the old Manny Pacquiao? Is the old Manny Pacquiao really back?
And Manny looked great. He looked exactly how I'm pretty sure most experts thought it was going to go down. He was the favorite in this fight. And like I said, Bradley just couldn't keep up with the activity level of Pacquiao.
All right, Eliud, I'll stop you there, and I'll transition over to Ruben Diaz, but I'll come back to you. Ruben, your post-fight thoughts on Manny Pacquiao versus Tim Bradley 2. Where did Tim Bradley go wrong in this fight? Was it because he chose to brawl Manny Pacquiao, or was it because Pacquiao was just too fast?
My post-fight thoughts on Pacquiao Bradley 2. Early on, I thought Bradley fought a good fight and was finding success, and it wasn't up until, I'd say, midway through the fight and on, as the fight wore on, that Bradley, his punch output started to decrease, and his stamina definitely decreased, and he just seemed to slow down. And the reason behind that, who knows? But there was a lot of close rounds, and I thought the fight was a bit closer than what the scorecards indicated, especially that 118 to 110 scorecard, which I think was ridiculous. It just seems that Bradley just was not doing enough to win the rounds towards the end of the fight, and that cost him the fight. And I don't know why he didn't choose to box more, because he clearly was a better boxer of the two. It could have been, though, Pacquiao's speed and awkward style that was just too much for him. But I don't know what happened in the later rounds as far as Bradley and his game plan, but it just he seemed to be fighting a dumb fight towards the end of the fight and the later rounds.
All right, Ruben, I'll ask you this question too. Is the old Manny Pacquiao back? Did he look that good, that spectacular against Tim Bradley, where people can say, you know what, this is the Manny Pacquiao that fought Ricky Hatton. This is the Manny Pacquiao that fought Oscar De La Hoya. Or is it something different?
Manny did look older and more his age, and showed less of that invincibility that he once had that made him such a fierce fighter. And he looked vulnerable, even from, I believe it was the third round, where Bradley was snapping Manny's head back, and Bradley does not have any power, so we don't know how Manny would react to somebody with power with those same flush shots.
All right, Ruben, I'll ask you this now. Where does Manny go from here? Can Can that Mayweather fight be made? Or are we going to see another fight between Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao? What do you think?
As far as Marquez and Pacquiao 5, I think we have to wait and see as far as who wins between Marquez, who has a tough fight against Mike Alvarado. Up until then, you can't really say as far as if people care about it. It's to each their own, but I think we're kind of past that whole Marquez and Pacquiao, however many fights they fight. I think people are definitely over it. There might be a few that may want to see Pacquiao avenge that knockout loss, but I don't think that most people care to see that fight, especially a pay-per-view event. That's what it would be, and I don't think a lot of people were happy with this fight. And as far as the undercard with the $60 to $70 price tag, I don't believe that most people are going to want to pay that again to see a fifth fight between Marquez and Pacquiao, regardless of Marquez beating Alvarado. And that being said, there's not very many options for Pacquiao being at Top Rank and campaigning at the welterweight level. I mean, besides the winner of Marquez and Alvarado, there's really not much that Pacquiao has to choose from. It's very slim pickings, and I don't see any other big fight being made at welterweight for Pacquiao. I don't think he'll go up to 154. I don't think he'd fight even the winner of Cotto Martinez, because they're campaigning and fighting at a higher division. And Cotto already had said previously that he would not fight at a catchweight, not fight Pacquiao at another catchweight again. And they both have the same trainer now in Freddie Roach. So I don't know where that leaves Pacquiao now, other than to wait and see what the outcome of Alvarado Marquez is. And even a fight between Pacquiao and Alvarado, should Alvarado win, it's not a big money fight, not a huge event, but they have very limited options, I believe, for Pacquiao at Top Rank right now, and we'll see how that plays out. As for Timothy Bradley, I think just needs to go back to the drawing board. I mean, there wasn't much else he could do other than stick to the initial game plan that he had, like I said, when he was having success against Pacquiao early on in the fight. But, it's first loss. I believe he'll learn from it and come back better. And
Thank you very much, Ruben, for that insight. Again, you can follow Ruben at RDSBoxing on Twitter. RDSBoxing on Twitter. And you can go to his website, warboxing.com. Finally, last question to you, Eliud, will be the same one I asked. This will be the same one that I asked Ruben. Where does Manny Pacquiao go from here? Who does he fight next? It seems that Top Rank only has 4 or 5 guys in the same weight division and keep making fight one another. But in your opinion, what's the best option for Manny Pacquiao?
And what's next for Manny? Manny has a few options. Everyone knows that 140, 147 is the 2 hottest divisions in boxing. He could go for a trilogy with Bradley. He can possibly fight Marquez for a 5th time. Guys at 140 can move up and possibly face Manny Pacquiao, because that division is very hot right now. So he has a few options here and there. And, of course, Mayweather's name's going to get thrown out there, but we don't know how that's going to go down right now, because this fight should have been made years ago. Right now we should have Pacquiao Mayweather 5. Or maybe not 5, but it's maybe rematch or a trilogy. That's what we should be having right now. That's what we should be talking about right now. But that's the direction that Manny's going in. I don't think he's going to move up in weight to 154. I don't think no one's going to give him the advantage of a catch weight anymore like he used to have a couple years ago. So Manny, like I said, he has a few names there that I threw out at 140, 147. It all depends if these promoters want to get together, because Right now, that if Danny Garcia would like to come up and face him, he's a Golden Boy fighter, and Pacquiao's with Top Rank, so I don't know if that would happen. Then you have Paratnikov, but he's real friends with him. They have the same trainer. They're training at the same wildcard gym in LA. So it's, it's. I mean, it's a gift and a curse because at the same time he has options, but then he doesn't. There's other names like Mike Alvarado, but he's also another top ranked fighter. So it should be interesting what Manny Pacquiao is going to do in the next couple of months. Who is he going to call out? Who does he want? Like I said, the name that's going to be on everybody's minds will be Mayweather, and I just don't know if that fight will ever happen. I don't know if Manny would have to leave Top Rank for at least one fight to make that happen. We just don't know right now.
Thank you very much, and that's Edward Vasquez Torres. You can follow him on Twitter at Boxing Pulse and visit his website, which is updated regularly, boxingpulse.net.